Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the sports segment of the Now Streaming Morning Live Show. This morning, like we always say, it is a time that brings everyone together despite the hula baloo, I would say, that has to do with politics. Sport is a time that everyone is waiting for, everyone is concerned, and we all are looking at to make and give in our contribution. Good morning, I must say once more, and welcome to the sports segment. With me still in the studio is Mr. Raphael Ojakomo Rafiki, I must say. He is a sports commentator. Mr. Raf, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. We're here again to discuss, like Komesoko will say, situations, matters that bring us together rather than the one that divides us.
All right, thank you so much. And we still have joining us virtually all the way from Delta State, Comrade Soko, and he is a political and sports analyst. Comrade Soko, I believe you are surprised seeing me. Good morning and welcome to the non-streaming sports segment.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Godwin. I'm surprised seeing you actually missed your passionate narratives in the political section. I'm glad to have you here. And as Mr. Raphael rightly said, this is where tension actually we are not tensed, we are happy, we banter, and we just discuss the world of sports. Thank you very much, Mr. Godwin.
All right, thank you so much. Our viewers, very quickly, we would be looking at the newspaper, sport newspaper review this morning, and we're looking at the Punch Sport Extra, and the Punch Sport is leading with a whole lot of trending story. I would be taking them, and it goes like this. It says Chile under fire after Sudan rout, and then this can be seen on page 7 of the Punch Sport Extra. We have on page 6 Osime back in gala training. This can be seen on page 6 of the same paper, and also on pages 2 we have Amusan confirmed for Loasani Diamond League. This can be seen on page 2 of the paper, and also we have Inter hopeful of Lukman deal. This can also be seen on page 6 of the Punch Sport Extra. And then on page 4 we have Walcott tells Easy to snub Arsenal. This can be seen on page 4. And also on page 4, so we have United consider Sancho loan. United consider Sancho no loan. And then also on page 4 again, we have Chelsea hunt for Newcastle back. And then we have the big one there, the super team, Parisian edge, Spurs in penalty shootout to win Super Cup. And you have it there, PSG versus Tottenham in a 2-2, but ended in a penalty of 4-3 in favor of the winning team there. And then finally on this we have NCAR final, my biggest athletics miss. This is coming from Ajayi. Alright viewers, like we would always encourage you, you go get yourself a copy of the Punch Sport Extra and other sport newspaper like you did during our political segment, and follow through with all of the trending issues that we are looking at this morning. Like I earlier introduced, I still have my guest in the studio in person of Mr. Raphael Rafiki Ojaokoma, and also virtually we have Comrade Soko, who is joining us virtually all the way from Delta State. All right, Comrade, sorry, Mr. Raf, I would now be coming to you with a whole lot of trending stories this morning as regards to sports. But let me give you, do I call it the benefit of making an holistic contribution as regards to the paper? Do we start with the big win here where they say the super team? So what is your take on that match first, PSG and Tottenham? Let's just kickstart from there.
For the PSG Tottenham game, when I was watching the game, I thought maybe the English team has finally gotten the medicine of Paris Saint-Germain, because before playing Chelsea, they had defeated Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Arsenal, and then going on to meet Chelsea at the World Club final, and they were reduced to nothing. So by the time I was Okay, I wasn't watching the game. I didn't follow it that much. By the time I came to the screen, I saw Tottenham leading by 2 goals to nil, and this was about 60 something minutes. Only for me to check back again at 90 plus, and I saw 2-2.
Okay.
And the game went straight into penalty shootout. It just shows that PSG is a team, for the moment at the time, um, going with the fact that they've won. I think they have 5 trophies this season. The only one that eluded them was the Club World Cup that Chelsea messed them up in that final. But if you were to look at it holistically, I think PSG is a team to beat right now, and everybody who is going to be facing PSG knows that it's a uphill task. Do you understand me? So, but for Tottenham, I also want to give them kudos because Tottenham is not the same team that we watched last season. Even though yes, they won the Europa League, defeating a Manchester United team that is nothing to write home about at the moment. Also, mind you, Tottenham and Man United, we are tossing it out in the league with 15 and 14th position, or 13 and 14. I can't remember vividly. So I want to give it to them with the work that Thomas Frank has been doing in the team, making sure that they play. And from the headline, you can hear, and one of the headlines I read this morning says, we can now play any team in the world, because they've been able to show up the team very well. Now the new captain, Romero, who also scored yesterday, and we have, what's it called, Kudus also in the team. Mind you, the legend Son is no longer in the team. So this is the man trying to build a new team. And of course, they gave it their all. But somewhere along the line, they lost it, and PSG came back into the game and won the game. So in Europe now, you could say PSG is the number one team. That's all I can say.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Raphael. Komisoko, now coming to you. I want us to look locally into other issues, but since we've started with all that is transpiring within the English League, what is your take? Do you agree with the assertion of Mr. Raphael that PSG is now the team to look out for as a champion?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Godwin. PSG has always been the team to look out for because their performance during the last calendar year into this calendar year has been spectacular. They have actually succeeded in winning what we call the quintuple. We usually have the treble, the quadruple, but I think this is almost the first time that someone is winning the quintuple. So they have been an outstanding team so far. But what I would want to take from the match yesterday is I think Thomas Frank made some tactical error because for a very long time into the second half, he was actually leading by 2-0, and all he had to do at that particular instance was to hold on to that particular result, fortify your midfield, fortify your defensive line. But if you look at the changes he made, he brought in 2 attackers when he was already leading by 2-0. So I believe that was what actually brought PSG into the game. Also, I would want to say that PSG, I think teams that actually partook in the World Club Cup, I think they will suffer fatigue this season because when I watched that particular game, it was a large majority of the first half. I also watched the second half, and I saw that Tottenham we are actually sharper than PSG. I think that the fatigue was actually showing in the PSG team. So I'm glad that they were able to actually come out and win that particular game to establish their European dominance. On a lighter note, I actually wanted Tottenham to win so that I can banter our not London rivals, at least as far as Europe is concerned, because you see teams like Tottenham, Chelsea performing very well, winning European trophies, and Arsenal is still nowhere to be found, at least in recent times. So I actually had an underlying reason for wanting Tottenham to win. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Comrade Soko there. Indeed, we will look into all that is happening within the English Football League there. But very quickly, let us look at our own national issues as regards to sport. And one of which is the recent defeat that the Super Eagles, I must say, suffered not too long. Comrade Soko, I would still be sticking to you on that. So much expectation. But the only thing I don't quite agree is the permutation whenever it comes to qualifiers for the Super Eagles. The Super Falcons did it back to back to back, and it was a straight win from all of the qualifier down to bringing the cup home. But when it comes to the Super Eagles, it seems as though we need a messianic prophecy for us to be able to say, should we back our own or not? Now, this is where they have brought us. So what is your overall take in this?
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if permutation is going to help us at this moment, because I think we are bottom of our group with no goal conceded, with no goal scored, and I think 5 goals conceded, and with 0 points. So I don't think that we are going to even qualify as best loser. So I think my overall narrative on this is that when Eric Shell was appointed, I was very critical. But okay, I think Mr. Raphael was also very critical. But when he was appointed, we all agreed that we should give him a chance. The reason why we were critical, because we believe that he did not really actually have the pedigree to manage his. Where he was coming from, it was not outstanding. We were suffering from a 4-game I think unbeaten streak. We have actually lost 4 games in our World Cup qualifiers. So we actually needed somebody that was outstanding to coach the Super Eagles. So that was one of the reasons why we were critical. So when he came, he had some decent performances, and we were okay. I think we should give him a chance. And now look at our performance in the CHAN Championship. It has now made us go back to questioning Eric Shell's profile. But what I would want to say, what I would want to add in when it comes to this CHAN Eagles is that it shows the level of our league. Oh. I'm sorry to say, because most of the players that we feeded in this particular tournament were sourced from our local league. Like the top scorer from the local league, I think Yusuf Anas is part of the team. He plays for Nasarawa United. We have players from Meremo Stars and Rivers United being in this team. And these are players that have excelled in our local league. But going into this continental championship, we have faltered. That's to show that we are not doing enough for our league. When you have players that are demoralized, you go 6 months, 8 months without being paid, how will you enjoy football? How would you want to play? When you see your mates in other teams in other countries playing, how will you want to? Why will you have that zeal to actually play? So we really need to work on our local league. We need to fund it. A lot of money are going to the states right now, and I believe that we have to actually earmark some for football development and sports development in general. So the performance of our CHAN Eagles, I just believe that, I believe strongly that it is a reflection of our local league, which is not really good, which is terrible at this particular point in time. Thank you very much, Mr. Gordon.
All right. Just still sticking with you, in a very tight qualifier match like that, and yet you are using just players from the local league, do you think as a coach that was ideal?
Okay, you know the CHAN tournament, if I'm not mistaken,
is actually for
players from I think the continent, and that's indigenous play.
Indeed.
So I think what you might be asking is that probably you would have thought for players that are playing in Morocco and in the African continent. But I do not blame him, because why don't I blame him is because these are players that he actually, he was able to see their track record. As I said, Yusuf Anas for Nasarawa United is a top player in MPFL. Ideally, he's supposed to be the lead striker. You are not going to take a player that is not so performing so well in, let's say, Mugoka Swallows of South Africa and replace him with Anas Yusuf. So the truth is, as far as indigenous football is concerned, this is the best that we have to offer, at least at this point in time. Except we want to go into, like I saw someone making a narrative saying that it's because of the lack of Igbo players in the team, trying to blame it on federal character. Why do you have to divide the team into Yoruba having their quarter, Igbos having that? I believe that's an insane argument. Are you getting it? Because he was trying to say that the Igbos are the best players in Nigeria. I totally feel that that person is insane and trying to push a narrative that is embedded in bigotry and ethnicity, and it's not the best narrative that we should be pushing at this point in time in our country. So I believe that as far as exposure is concerned, as far as our local league is concerned, this is the best we have to offer, and we have failed woefully in this regard. And when you look at, because we usually criticize that, when we pick our Super Eagles team, we only select a few from the indigenous, the local leagues. Now we are selecting all local league players, and this is what they are producing. So it's actually really disheartening. It is really sad at this particular point in time. I'm short of words. Thank you very much, Mr. Godwin.
All right, thank you so much, Comrade Soko there, and thank you for that very insightful analysis. Mr. Raf, I would now be coming to you. You listen keenly to what Soko said, and it says the defeat the Chan Eagles suffered is as a result of, or clearly it shows the level of development of our local league. But for me, one thing that catches my attention, the Eagles suffered a 4-0 defeat. Now, do we just blame it at the level of football development, or rather there are some technical errors that was very obvious even in the course of play?
Okay, because I want to look at this thing holistically, right? If you check that team, we have 4 or 5 players who play with the mainstream Super Eagles team.
Indeed. Yeah.
We have Sadiq Ismaila, who was even at the Unity Cup that Nigeria won. You have Michael Tochukwu, you have Anas Yusuf, and the one that has played, I think, has more caps with the mainstream Super Eagles, if not more than Sadiq, Sikiru Alimi. These are players that you would have thought, okay, because they've mixed up with the professional guys, they have 1 or 2 things they would have picked up from these guys. But what do we have here? The Chan tournament is what's it called? Sourced basically for local players, because when you host your AFCON, a lot of them don't get the chance to represent their teams, whichever country with which they represent. Everybody will always pick a player from abroad, and then CAF thought it wise to let's do something for the home-based players. And you can clearly see that the teams that are doing well in this tournament are the teams that their leagues are doing well. You can see even the likes of Zambia, Uganda, Congo, and what have you, playing good football. Now, I would not want to put this at Eric Shell's table. Totally. There are 2 people I want to draw forward. Fidelis Ilechukwu. Fidelis Ilechukwu is the coach. Well, I can't remember the team he coaches, but he coaches one of the team in the MPFL. And then we have Ogumodede. Ogumodede is the coach of Remo Stars. And now these 2 people are the assistant coach of Eric Shell. Week in, week out, these 2 people play games in the league. And Godwin and Komisoko, you can bear me witness, there are teams that you want to play against. You know that there's somebody in that team that is very good. You know there's somebody in that team that your team should be scared of, or you put people around them, or mark this guy, or do like if I want to play a Man City now, for example, as an Arsenal, maybe Arsenal coach, I know people have to look out for. If I want to play Chelsea, I know what to look out for. It means those guys are the outstanding players in the league. But what do we have? You have almost 9 players or 7 players from Remo Stars in that squad. If anybody was going to help Eric Chell pick a formidable squad, those 2 guys behind him are the ones that are supposed to help him do this, because they see these things happen. They see these players playing week in, week out. You see that one that Komisoko said that the person is saying because they didn't put Igbo person. People like that should be arrested. Now they're supposed to arrest and they put them for kirikiri streets without any job, because people like that are the ones that bring trouble to the nation. Because it's not about where you're from. What if they say they want to follow federal character in your region? Nobody's a play ball for that place, or there's nobody in that place that can represent. It doesn't make any sense at all. But what I want to say is this: we need to put our league first and foremost online and live for people to watch, because when they know that people are watching them, this idea of every home team must win. Even when you're not playing well, you're winning games. There's the way your players will begin to perform when they go abroad or they go away. That's abroad. They will just go there to want to go and look for a draw. Let's just more tighten our post. But if we come home, no matter what team we do, even if now one goal, they will give us penalty, we'll go score, we'll go win. So, and that's why they don't perform in the continent when they go for the Champions League and they come for a CAF Confederation Cup. Are these the best players in the league? If you ask me, I'll tell you no. I may not know all of them, but I believe Ilechukwu and Ogumodide should be able to fish out the best players from the league, from all the teams. And now what they have succeeded in doing is reducing the quota that the MPFL is supposed to produce for the mainstream Super Eagles.
Okay.
Because this, either I like it or not, we keep saying Super Eagles B. Either I like it or not, it's Super Eagles that they beat. Yes, Super Eagles lost 4-0 to Sudan.
Indeed.
They lost 4-0, and if you see the first goal that was conceded, our player scored our goalkeeper. The ball hit the goal post, and you see him nodding the ball back into the post as if maybe he was thinking it's Sudan's post he was facing. So we need players who are ready to represent the country, not just come to say we have been picked. Are you being picked based on your form, based on your quality of what you can provide? And also, mind you, tactics come to play. You have seen coaches who have used lesser teams to beat strong teams. I always keep making reference to Greece in 2004. That went all the way to win the European Nations Cup. They were not the best. They met people like France. They met people like Portugal. And there were people like England and Belgium in that competition. But Greece, what they do is they score and they pack the bus. And they went all the way to win. And in 2004, either I like it or not, Greece was the best team. So it also boils down to the coach's tactics again. What kind of tactics is Eric Shell employing in the Super Eagles? Because all the result that he has had thus far has not been very nice at all, if you ask me.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Raphael. In the course of the show, we just got, I think, an update as regards to the $100K that was promised to the Super Eagles. Comrade Soko, at this point, I think I would want to bring you into this conversation because our Jagaban has not yet fulfilled the promise to the Super Falcons. And this is coming from Rashidat Ajibade. What is actually going on? Is it an audio promise, or do we call it a promissory note? Because same promise have been made to the basketballers, and yet the Super Falcons are saying that nothing yet have been given to them since the day that promise was made. So what is your take on this?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Godwin. What I would want to say is that this tournament is barely, I think it was played barely. I think we have not went out the second month since this tournament was played, and I think it's a little bit premature to be making this complaint. What I would want to say is that if as Mr. President had made that promise the next day, he had actually fulfilled the promise. I believe that Nigerians will still come out and talk that where's the money, where's the bureaucracy, why is it so fast and all that. I believe that these things take time. The processes take time, and I believe in the person of Mr. President to eventually fulfill this promise. And I'm actually glad that Rajitat she has performed very well in the course of the tournament, and she has actually spoken up for the welfare of our players. So I believe that the promise will be fulfilled in due time. We are not going to see a situation where players are being owed promises for over 20 and 24 years. I believe in the administration of the president to actually fulfill this promise. Thank you very much, Mr. Bobby.
All right, thank you so much, Comrade Soko there. Mr. Raf, coming to you now, I know you have so much to talk, but we are pressed for time, I must confess. Now, I would want us to look at the transfer window that is currently happening, and then I need to get your assessment as regards from your club. Sorry, before I say that, we have a comment from Peter O'Shea, which I believe you know very well, and he's questioning the fact that you are not putting on an Arsenal jersey, and he's asking if you have abandoned your club.
Okay.
Yeah, you will give him that answer. But let us go to that transfer window now. What is your take as regards all of those transfer move that is happening? Are you satisfied with the move? Especially from Arsenal and all other clubs that are looking towards making transfers as the season is about starting.
I want to quickly respond to that of Rashidat. I think somebody somewhere took a comment out of context, because I think recently she did an interview, an interview, and maybe the person just asked, have you guys been paid? And she said, no, not yet. And then somebody took it out of context. I'm sure in the nearest future she will come out to debunk that. As regards the transfer, thus far every club has been doing business. I would want to relate it to my club first. We've gotten some players, but we're still not there yet. Looking at having at least 2 or more to be able to show up the positions that we're looking at. That's why people like AZ is still being discussed. People like Lukman is still being discussed, and maybe another striker also still being discussed in Arsenal. But one that keeps disturbing me is the one of Isak with Newcastle, because Isak has swore not to play for Newcastle again, even if he doesn't get to leave the club. I don't think we need to get to a point where players begin to have issues.
It's acrimony between them.
With them. Mind you, Donnarumma just left PSG, as in walked away. Did you get me? And there was a time when it was Ozil and Arsenal. You will see Ozil dress and just wear flip-flops and carry umbrella. And he will be just by the side.
And also not to forget the saga between Ademola Lookman
and Inter Milan going on at the moment, and of course they just concluded Osimhen Wahala. So I think this window has been a very, very sweet and sour one. We've had some players move. It seems like Bournemouth has lost 3 of their very good defenders, and I just pray they're able to show up. The same thing happened to what's it called, Brentford. Of course, Man U, we hope that Man U would live up to the hype after getting 4 players up front. The one thing is to have people up front who are those covering you at the back. We also have people like Chelsea who have done good business also. Tottenham also. So it's been a good one. But I think a lot of people, we know with the fans, we're always expecting a lot.
Indeed.
We want, if they allow us the fans, everybody will be in our club. You understand? But again, you have to do things by the book, following the FIFA fair play rule, or what you call it, financial fair play rule. And then of course Man City, we're looking at Man City. I saw Liverpool play against Crystal Palace on this Sunday or Saturday, and I don't know, in fact this season is going to be something else. It is going to be something else. And as regards me not wearing an Arsenal jersey, this is now streaming sports show, and if you've noticed, I've done different jerseys. I'm a jersey person.
Indeed.
I'm a jersey person. Mind you, you've not even seen anything more. There's still more to come. I'm a jersey person, so I do that. But the ones that I've not had the opportunity of donning at the Nigerian leagues, because I can't even find them at the tip of your finger. Do you understand me? The only jersey that I know that may not be able to enter this my body. Even the person knows that is laughing. I love blue, the color blue, but I'd rather wear Leicester, Ipswich, Everton, Brighton. You see that? So I'm a sport person, and this is a sports show. That's why you see me in different sporting jerseys.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Raphael Ojakomo. Coming to you now, Komisoko. Transfer window, a whole lot is happening. So what is your take on that? Is it favorable to your club? Because I know Arsenal is celebrating some of these moves now, and it's so far, it is working out for them. So what is your take?
Okay, so quickly, I'm going to start with my thing. And as you have rightly said, it is actually favorable for us. But I don't want to even look at the players that we have even bought. I want to look at the players that we have sold. From 4 players, we have been able to generate, I think, almost in excess of £100 million. And these are players that we did not even believe that we get as much as the amount we are getting from there. So I think Chelsea is actually getting doing a very good business. The person in charge of making this transfer is actually doing a very, very good business. See the likes of Dewsbury going to Everton for 30 million, Madueke 50 million, Dasisi 20 million, and all that. So our outgoings have been superb. And we actually, I think, we're also still going for Garnacho, and I think another player from Leipzig, which is Zhang. So it's actually been a good one for Chelsea. So I want to also delve into the controversy of this controversy between players and club, using this Isaac and Ademola situation as a case study. What I would want to say in regards to that is that I would want to put the blame on both parties. On the player side, leave your transfer business for your agents. You're a professional footballer. You have a contract to this thing. As far as you have not left, as far as there's an ongoing discussion, what you owe your team is to turn up to training and train and behave professionally. The idea of coming out to put statements and criticizing your club and saying you're not going to train again, personally, from a professional point of view, I think is uncalled for. But on the part of the club side, when you see clubs actually shifting their goalposts, look at the Gyökeres situation in Sporting Lisbon and Arsenal. You said this player's exit, his transfer clause, you set it at 60 million. Arsenal has brought 60 million. You are seeing they are shifting it to 65 million. In the case of Ademola Lookman, you made mention that you are going to allow this guy move for a certain amount. Now you are coming back to say that you only said that you wanted him to go to a top team, that Inter Milan is not a top team. If Inter Milan is not a top team, so Atlanta is a top team. So when you see club sides actually shifting their goalposts, going against what they have verbally agreed with some of these players, I think this is where this whole issue and this whole tussle come into play. So for the Donnarumma situation, yes, okay, you have sold. You have actually bought a new goalkeeper, Sevilla. You be open with him. Tell him that there's no space for you in this team. Instead of trying to blame it on his performance and trying to reduce his value in the global market. What I would want to say is that even the Donnarumma is a better keeper, because I watched the game yesterday. He is a better keeper than the Sevilla that came in. He has proven he has a better track record than the Sevilla that came in. So I believe that on the part of clubs, they owe these players honesty and transparency. So I want to put the blame on both sides. On the club, stop shifting goalposts, and on the players, behave professionally. Don't you can handing in transfer requests is legal, but you have to train with your team until you are ready to exit the team. So I will stop here at this point in time. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Comrade Soko, there for that very wonderful analysis of all of the issues that is making headline. Back in the studio, Mr. Raphael Rafiko Giacomo. Comrade Soko have said a whole lot, but how do we deal with the issue of club coming out boldly to say they don't want rivals, that players can be transferred to other teams but not with rivalry team? Is that how it's supposed to be?
It's a smart way of doing business. Yeah, because I will not empower you. It's like I'm in a war with you, and then you're coming to fight me with knife and I'm holding gun. And then I see you and I'm like, on a knife you hold, I take gun. I will not give you my weapon because most of the time these clubs know that these players that are letting out are equally very good. And that's why if you see some of these players play against their rival club, you see that they see the spirit with which they play those games. Sometimes they even score against their rival club. The only thing they don't do is celebrate. I've seen just a few players who celebrated after scoring against their rival club. People like Havertz did it when Arsenal played against Chelsea. Adebayo, if Adebayo's one was worse, Adebayo scored against Arsenal and ran the full length of the the field to go and celebrate in front of Arsenal fans to tell them, "Toy." Do you understand me? So
Yes,
it's not enough to, although, like I said, I would say it's not enough to hold the player down from moving to where they want to move to, because to them is growth. Imagine a player moving from Atalanta to Inter Milan. It is growth, because until last season, Atalanta was nowhere near Inter Milan in terms of hierarchy in the Italian league. But of course, you don't want to be improving the Inter Milan team and then reducing the strength of your team. So teams would rather sell players across board to other clubs in other countries instead. But I don't know the love that Arsenal and Chelsea has. You see players cross carpeting, and same thing applies to Arsenal and Man City doing the same thing. Arsenal, Man U. Anyone that happens between Arsenal and Tottenham would be 10 betrayal, because it should never happen. But then again, I also want to look at it from this point of view. Players should stop signing deals and elongating it to the point of and I'm talking to Chelsea now, for example. You have 7 years contracts, some will say 9 years. You don't know, maybe in the next 2-3 years you get to a point where, like someone like a Palmer now is one of the hot shots, and it's been, I think, nominated for the Ballon d'Or. Maybe this coming season now, he does one that thing again, and Real Madrid comes and say they want to sign him. And every footballer's dream sometimes is to play for Madrid or Barcelona. Do you understand me? The next thing you hear the team saying is, we still have a contract with you, so they have to pay your what's it called, the remaining sign release clause. And some of these monies are outrageous. So we need to get to a point where agents and clubs need to check how they do these businesses with players, how you sign them, their wages, and the number of years. Because like I said, some players, someone like a Morata now, for example, has played for almost all the clubs in this world, and has been moving from one club to one club. Imagine Morata has a deal that is holding him down in a club for 5 years. Either it doesn't play again or disappears from the scene, or the club pays through their nose just to get him. Someone like an Mbappe had to see out his contract, saying, I don't want PSG to earn any cover from my country. I will sit down on the bench, I don't mind, until my deal is done. Ozil did it. Ozil will come to the bench and sit down through games. When games finish, he will go. What's it called? Isaac is about to toe the same line. And all these things happen because of their wages. And how much is Newcastle asking? How much is Newcastle asking from Liverpool? Do you understand me? Isaac is not a young player. So asking for such kind of what, he might now move to Liverpool and be like a Torres who moved from Liverpool to Chelsea and there was nothing to write home about. Hazard moved from Chelsea to Madrid, there was nothing to write home about. But who gains and who loses? Both the player, both the team that has bought them. So I think we need to start looking at businesses holistically.
All right.
So that we don't get into all these bottleneck issues.
Thank you so much, Comrade Mr. Raphael Rafiki Ojakomo. Comrade Soko, just to wrap up the show with this final question that is coming to you, can we just take an analysis of all those that have been coming up as top ranking for the Ballon d'Or? So what is your take on that ranking? Do you think that those there are actually the best within the scale of the ranking?
Okay, thank you very, very much. What I would want to say on the ranking is the omission. I don't think, stand to be corrected, I don't know if Victor Osimhen is actually part of this top 30 players. I would want to say from what I saw, he's not part of it. And I would want to say that is an oversight, because he was actually the best, the top goal scorer in the Turkish league. And he actually generated a lot of interest, though he has actually permanently moved to Galatasaray. So I would want to say that most of the players that I'm seeing here, they did not actually perform up to our own Victor Osimhen. And I'm not talking based on sentiment, I'm talking based on facts and objectives. I would want to say, having said that, the list is actually well deserved. The players that are on the list players that actually performed in the they performed very, very well in the European tournaments. And I think I saw a list naming the top five. Dembele, Yamilawa, Hakimi, I think Salah was there also. So I think it's a very, very good one. The only problem I had is the omission of Victor Osimhen from this number, because the number is a lot. And I believe that he ought to have been included. Though an English football analyst made mention of the fact that it might be due to his character, and that was why he did not actually get interest from some European teams. So I believe that he's still a professional player. If he had had something like that, I believe he ought to actually try to improve on himself, so that such things will not be said about him in the future. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Raf, we would be wrapping up also with this, and I need your assessment or your prediction as regards the weekend matches. Remember, Arsenal will be dealing with, I think I'm standing by us because I'm actually an Arsenal fan myself. So let's put it this way. Arsenal will be facing, is it Man U? So what is your prediction, and how do you think that match will go for us?
If you ask me, I would speak like an Arsenal fan and say I'm seeing Arsenal having won over Manchester United, even at Old Trafford. But one thing I want us to note is this: no matter how bad an Arsenal team is, and no matter how bad the Manchester United team is, whenever these two teams square up, you would think is a matter of is a do or die affair. So nobody wants to bear the brunt of taking the L home. That's losing and going. And it's a new season. Both clubs have signed new players who wants to prove a point. So I think it's going to be a dicey game. But as an Arsenal fan, I'm giving it to Arsenal for that day.
All right. Komresuko, what is your take? Arsenal, Man U.
Okay, so I'm still also going to give it to Arsenal, because I believe that Arsenal, they have more dynamism in this point in time. I believe that the problems of Manchester United, though they've gotten some very, very good players, Sesko, Umwebo, and Konya, I believe that the foundational problem of Manchester United still exists. I don't see them performing very, very well. It's unfortunate we don't have any Manchester United fan in the studio to actually debunk me right now, but I don't believe that the problems of Manchester United is over at this point in time. So I see Arsenal actually doing one against them, getting past them in that particular fixture. So it pains me to say, but that's my prediction.
I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I must, at this point, wrap up the show. We've actually exhausted our time. And we must say a very big thank you to our viewers for staying tuned to the Advent Cable Network Nigeria for all we do here, and especially for staying tuned with us on the Now Streaming Sports segment. I also want to thank my co-anchor, who was actually the first presenter during the political discourse segment, in person of Ebuka. Thank you so much for standing in and doing the best we know you to do. And also my two guests, Mr. Raphael Rafiki Ojaokomo, and also Komresuko all the way from Delta State. Thank you so much for making Now Streaming Sports special, and also the political segment a reality. Thank you, I must say. And also, viewers, we want to urge you not to forget that you can be part of the Now Streaming show that will be coming your way tomorrow, same time, same station. And also you send in your comments via various social media platform, and also follow through all our social media platform on the subsequent edition of this program. At this point, we must say thank you all for staying tuned. And at this point, we will be taking a wrap on the Now Streaming Sports segment. I'm just excited about how today's show went. Thank you so much. And we would call it a wrap.